Tyler here, Weekly Meta Reviews here. Weekly Meta Reviews, what the fuck am I saying? A Game Pulse. Here with a DLC review. This time I'm going to be talking about Tiny Tina's Assault on the Dragon's Keep. This is the last and fourth final DLC for Borderlands 2. This came out June 25th, I believe. And it's free if you have the season pass, which is cool. So yeah, so this DLC takes place after the main game, and basically you, the Vault Hunters and Tiny Tina are playing the game Bunkers and Badasses, and you're thrown into it and kind of playing the game. And Tiny Tina kind of controls the whole world, which I thought was really cool. And then you have to try to save the queen. I have to say the surprise when you save the queen is very funny. And this DLC really keeps true to the very funny humor that Borderlands is known for. It's a very funny DLC. I thoroughly enjoyed the humor and the dialogue that was found throughout, even in the side missions. And the way that Tiny Tina controls the whole world is, for example, in the beginning of the DLC, you are entering this forest, and once you turn the corner, these level 85 tree ants spawn, which 85 is just ridiculous, and there's no way that you can kill them, and so then she just alters it a little bit to make it more of your level. It's kind of stuff like that. You never know what's going to happen when you're playing through this DLC, which is just completely cool. Visually, I find this DLC to be the most visually stunning. Captain Scarlet's, to me, is visually boring, and it's just overall kind of boring. Mr. Torgue's is kind of visually boring, but it's a fun DLC. Sir Hamlock's was very interesting, but it was kind of the same color palette throughout. But this DLC is very colorful. It's got a lot of different areas, such as, the Flame Rock, the main kind of hub of the place. And then you go to the forest of being eaten alive by things. The place I dread, and I still dread to go to just because it's such a bitch to get through, is the Lair of Infinite Agony, which is more of a dungeon type of feel that you would experience in something like, I don't know, the Elder Scrolls. But they put their own spin on it with the Borderlands. Hatred Shadow's a very interesting place, and the Dragon's Keep, climbing up this giant fucking castle overall, and the mines of something I forget, where you fight dwarves and stuff. Overall, the areas of this DLC are very, very fun. They're challenging, and overall, this is a challenging DLC. I went back and played the earlier DLCs first, and it was just too easy for me, and because I was, the enemies weren't scaling up to me, which kind of pissed me off. But with this, I was right at the level of everybody, which is awesome. And this is just a challenging DLC because overall, you fight a lot of different enemies, and that's the thing that pissed me off about the first two DLCs, is that you were pretty much fighting the same exact enemies, which, I like how Hammerlock spiced it up some with, the witch doctors and the drifters and the fucking weird flying spore things, or, the scorpions or something. There was different enemies that weren't found in the main game. Same thing here. There's skeletons. There's these big-ass fucking spiders. There's the tree ants, which are just giant trees. There's orcs. There's dwarves that you have to fight. You have to fight through castles. You have to, just do a whole bunch of really cool shit that's not found in the main game. This is truly a different DLC, and that's what I thoroughly enjoyed about it. And the loot, I didn't notice anything really different. I mean, the loot is more powerful than it is in previous DLCs, and I have to say, once you do the raid boss, how in, there's like Terramorphous the Invincible, and then there's Pirate Pete the Invincible. In this one, there's 4 big ass dragons that you have to take out all at once, and which I actually found this one to be easier than, say, Terramorphous or Pirate Pete, which are just cocksuckers. But I have to say, once you finish that quest, the amount of shit to open is absolutely incredible. It blew my mind. One thing with the weapons chest in this game is that you get to roll dice, and you can either roll 1 die, or you can spend 5 iridium to roll 2. And if you roll a 20, you get really, really good stuff. But say if you roll a 13, you just kind of get average shit. I thought that was cool as a way to spice it up. They really hit this fantasy type of vibe that was going on with this DLC, which I just really, really enjoyed. And it's just overall cool. I mean, certain characters like Roland is in this DLC, but they play different roles. You know, Roland's in here. Mr. Tord is in the beginning, and Tord's just badass. He's the gatekeeper, and then he eventually gets locked up, which is funny. Yeah, you have to blow up the ocean if you want you to. But, you know, just the way Bloodwing is in it towards the end that you'll see. And just overall, I feel that they really hit everything with this DLC. This is by far the best DLC for Borderlands. And if you are, you know, a stubborn one and you're like, I have 1 DLC, I'm only getting 1 DLC, I highly recommend this one. It's very long. The main story is only about, I think, 4 or 5 missions, but it was very, very long. It took me about 6 or 7 hours to get through, and then there is still a ton of side missions, which I still have not went through. Oh, and Claptrap makes a return as a wizard, which is fucking awesome. I think that's about all I have left to say. There's just some really interesting stuff in this. So, yeah, I mean, if I had to give this DLC a score, I would give it, you know, about a 9 out of 10. It's very, very awesome, very fun, very challenging as well. Certain areas are just cock. So yeah, thanks for watching the Game Pulse. Subscribe for more awesomeness, and I'll see you later.